If you've logged into this video, then that means you're ready to start to take that first step in accessing your digital portfolio in Google Sites. So the first thing you want to do is you want to be able to log into Google. In the upper right hand corner, you're going to notice a sign in. A lot of you have already signed in, but I'm just starting with the basics. So you want to log into your Pemmy Baker account. I might refer to this quite a bit. So just so you know that we have our Pemmy Baker domain and you're accessing our school umbrella, so to speak. So here I'm going to just enter as a student so I know that you're looking at exactly what I'm looking at, and then log in with your password. If you've never logged into Google, just so you know, your username is the same as your new username when you log into the PRHS network. It's the year of graduation, first letter of your first name, last name, and then your password is password until you log in to change it. And you will be triggered to start or change your password. So now I'm in my Pemmy Baker account. When you look up in the top right hand corner here, this is what you really want to be familiar with. This is your dashboard. On your dashboard are preloaded apps, things that are available to everyone. In some cases you can add on, but this just gives you the basics. The whole purpose of this particular video is just to discuss Google Sites. When you log into your dashboard, you can see here I have Google Sites. You may not. Until you've loaded a site into your space, this may or may not be there, but that's okay. You can always access it by going into More, Even More, and then down. If you scroll down, here are all the apps that are readily available. Here you can see Google Sites. So I'm going to go in this way so you can see some sites that I put there just practicing. I'm leaving them there so I can show you how to delete a site in case you make a mistake. So let me go back, and I'm going to go up to my Google dashboard, maybe. So here's my dashboard. Just so you know, when I go into Google Sites, it's the same place. The other way, if you're not locating them, is if you can actually go to Google Sites and log in with your Pemmy Baker username and password, and it's going to get you to the same place. So now you can see that I can have many sites in my space. So I'm going to create my portfolio, which is actually a template that you need to go get and put into your space or drag it over. So these are just some ones that I did ahead of time. So you can see that if you can have more than one. So when you're ready to create your portfolio, you need to get the template. So now I'm going to go to Create, and I'm going to go to Browse the Gallery for more. Because we had to create this ahead of time, it's actually stored in a gallery. So when I click on that, these are a bunch of different templates that are available to you. So yours won't, mine's there because I've used it before, but yours may not be there. But you can just type in PRHS and go to search, and there it is. Select it. You can preview it if you want. Make sure you get the same. So here's my portfolio, and I can decide to use this template. So you have to name your site. Keep in mind, this is going to be the name that goes onto the cover of your portfolio. So you want to make sure you use your first name, last name, and sometimes it's nice to use a middle initial. Use capital letters when you put in your name. It looks very awkward, and it's not appropriate to put lowercase. So I'm just going to do Mrs. McLean. If you'll notice, it generates a URL here. Sometimes it'll say this URL's already been taken. So if someone else that has a similar name to you, this might not work. you may have to change around what the computer's generating in order to get one that does work. So I'm going to go to Create. This can take a while depending on the power behind your computer, but here you go. Now I have my portfolio and it's in my space. Let's look at the name, and I'm going to close it. Let's close this. And now I'm going to go into Google Sites so you can see where it shows up. Here's the one I just created. These are others that I created prior. The reason why I did this is because you may want to delete it and try it again in case you got stuck in the process. So I'm going to click on O's. And if I go up into my settings here and I go to Manage Site and I scroll down, I can delete this site. Yes, I want to delete it. I'm going to go back. Delete permanently. So now I'm done. I'm going to go back into Google Sites. So ultimately, I'm going to want to change and delete all of these. So I'm going to go do that one more time. I'm going to click on the site. I'm going to go up into my settings, Manage Site. I'm going to scroll down and delete this site. So now we've created the template, we've moved it over to our space, we've labeled it. So now the first thing that I think is really important is to set your permissions, because you can share this within our district, but the link is only live if you set the settings correctly. So I'm going to go into here, I'm going to go up, and I'm going to go down into sharing and permissions. This is important because you can share only in our Pemmy Baker district, but not only for me for the portfolio process, but if your teacher's using your portfolio or wants to review a piece of work that you've put in your portfolio, they can have access to it just by punching your name into a search. So this is the live link to your portfolio. Who has access to your portfolio? Right now it's marked on private, so if someone selected that link, it would say you don't have permission to view this. Request permission. And you can leave that. I'm going to go to Change. This is anyone with this link. People at the SAU district can find access. This is the one that I want you to select, or you can keep it private. Even if you do anyone with this link, that only means people within our district. You can't share your portfolio outside of our Pemmy Baker domain. I'm going to hit Save. Oh, before I do that, you can decide if you want them to be able to edit or you want them to be able to view. Right now, you would only want people to review. You don't want them to edit your page because they can make changes to it, and hit Save.